Thank you for all coming tonight for the January 28th, 2025 City Council meeting. This public meeting of the City Council is recorded on Zoom with a link is posted on the agenda. If you are calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. If you are watching on a computer or device, there is a raised hand button that you can tap or press to request to speak. Please use either of these options during oral communications or to be recognized to speak. If technical difficulties arise and the Zoom meeting link is interrupted during an in-person hybrid meeting of the City Council and a quorum is present, the meeting may continue after efforts have been made to reestablish the link. The minutes shall note the interruption. It is defined in the City of Gloucester that no individual should be denied equal treatment or opportunity because of their age, ancestry, color, disability, including intellectual and developmental disability, family status, immigration status, gender identity or expression, military status, marital status, national origin, race, religion, sex, or sexual orientation. Tonight in attendance, we have, we'll list up. We have V from our veterans. We have Rob Vicari, building commissioner. We have Nancy Papos from the assessors. We have Holly Doug Willow from HR. We have Mike Hale from the DPW. We have Jill, our CAO. We have Elise Sinagra from the Council on Aging and Suzanne Egan. Remote, we have Councilor Scott Memhard and also Kenny Coster. In person, we have Jason Nyland. Jason Grow, Marjorie Grace, Val, myself, Sean, Dylan, Frank. Absent, we have Tony and Jeff at this time. And with that, we'll next start with the flag salute and a moment of silence. The flag salute would be myself tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on the agenda is oral communication. The public shall have the opportunity at every regularly scheduled meeting to be heard under oral communications on matters not apparent on the agenda. Oral communication shall allow any resident and/or property owner and/or business owner who has a request or a complaint of any nature relative to city business to appear before the city to make their statement without debate, and the city council will refer the matters to the office of the mayor. Persons speaking under oral communication shall be limited to 3 minutes each. Do we have anybody here tonight that would like to speak under oral communications? Please come on up. Right over to the, if you could just state your name and address for the record, please.
Speak right into that mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good evening. I'm Carla Della Porta, homeowner and resident of 9 Cleveland Street. I'm readdressing a topic brought to council's attention at the June 2024 public hearing. I spoke on behalf of more than 415 petitioners to request this administration complete a notice of intent application for MBTA quiet zones for Cleveland Street, Cedar Street, and Maplewood Avenue train crossings. I'll resend the application and my talking points to the clerk, which covered community experience with train horns, reasons for requesting a quiet zone, definition of a quiet zone, and how we made clear that we're not expecting the city to fund potential future quiet zones. So there's a lawsuit pending which may impact the future of quiet zones in our state. That's why we're not asking for the city to commit to advocating for quiet zones at this stage. What we're asking for is this administration to take a small but vital step to complete the notice of intent application. Yes, this will require city staff resources, but myself and others are ready to volunteer our time to alleviate the administrative burden if allowed. We're requesting the application be complete because if the court upholds quiet zones, we want to be prepared. Now, even if not ultimately pursued, completing the application will leave the city better positioned if the need for another quiet zone arises in the future, such as with new development. The process will also give the city a deeper understanding of the regulatory landscape around transportation noise. The required data collection will no doubt have many future alternative applications. The process will grow intergovernmental relations since it requires collaboration with the MBTA, as well as state and federal alignment. And the process alone may also identify other potential solutions. Really importantly, even if a quiet zone isn't ultimately pursued, the city's efforts to explore it will be a powerful sign to us that our government is responsive to our concerns.
10 seconds, please.
I'll just express that we're not asking the administration to advocate for, fund, or even agree with the idea of a quiet zone. We're just requesting a simple but meaningful first step of completing the application.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have a statement you'd like to give to the clerk?
Can I email it in the morning?
Yes.
Thanks so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak at oral communications tonight? All right. We have none online or present. Okay. Linda, can we bring Linda in?
Good evening. Can you all hear me?
We can. If you could just give us your name and address, please, Linda.
Yes, it's Linda Rash Colleran. I live at 68 East Main Street.
All right, please state your concern.
Yes, thank you so much for letting me talk. I was there 2 weeks ago to talk about warming centers in the evening in Gloucester, and I have not heard anything from the mayor's office. I made the request of the mayor and thought that he's supposed to respond within 2 weeks. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I have not heard anything about from the mayor's office. And so, and I know we don't have any overnight.
Linda, you still there? All right, we've lost Linda. We can move on to the next.
And it really seems, it just saddens me that there are people out there that do not have a warm place to go where they feel safe. And we've got, we're the wealthiest country in the world. What are we doing? That's all I have to state. Should I just wait for the mayor to respond or what?
We missed part of your presentation, but we get the gist of it, and the mayor has
Okay.
information
Okay.
on warming centers and what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
We look forward for him getting back to you personally to give you a notice of where they're at on that, and thank you very much for your.
That'd be great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. And next up, we have Mary Ann Boucher.
Good evening, Mary Ann Boucher, 93 Mount Pleasant Avenue. I, like Linda, also spoke 2 weeks ago in regards to the East Gloucester School property. And I am requesting again to Scott Memhard, our Ward 1 counselor, our mayor, and also all of you on the council to give the public some sort of update as to what will be happening with that property. Have the RFP bids been completed? I've also put in a public records request for any information. I do not even see that that public records request is even online right now. I don't know why. I don't fill out too many, so I might be unfamiliar with the process, but the rumors are starting to unfold. And that's the last thing that we want to see, are rumors coming about what's going to happen there. We all know from the many, many meetings that majority of you have attended what should be taking place. And we're hoping that the children of our city do have the open space that they were promised from our administration. So I would appreciate somebody getting back to me. I don't feel that I should have to keep pursuing this city council meeting after city council meeting. We had a lot of meetings in regards to $34,000 consultants saying what there would be. We had meetings of you all approving a $2 million loan order to take that building down. And I just want to make sure that we're all moving in the same direction. So if somebody could get back to me in regards to this, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
Thank you, Mary Ann. I'd like to also announce that Counselor at Large Worthley is now present with us. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak on oral communications? And there's no one online, no one present, so I'd like to close oral communications. And then we're going to move on to Madam Clerk.
Confirmation of new appointments.
All right. So first up, we have Katie Parsons. How you doing, Katie? You just want to come up and tell us a little bit about yourself, being a new appointment, and thank you for volunteering.
Good evening. My name is Kate Parsons. I live at 11 Highland Street in East Gloucester. Oh, sorry. Can you not hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. My name's Kate Parsons. I live at 11 Highland Street in East Gloucester. I have been on the Open Space and Recreation Committee for about a year. One of my colleagues on that committee's term as representative to the CPC is coming to an end, and so the committee needs a new representative to be on the CPC, and I have volunteered to do that and am looking forward to that role.
Excellent, thank you. Is there any councilor questions or comments for Kate? All right, Councilor Majota, do we have?
Committee recommendation on a motion by myself, seconded by Council Worthy. The Ordinance and Administration Committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council employ Kate Parsons to the Committee Preservation Committee, term ending 2/15/28, and I so move.
Second.
All right, and this is going to be by roll call vote. And the roll tonight will start with myself. And that's a yes, Kate. Thank you very much. Next.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Wasn't right.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes, and thank you, Katie.
Counselor Benson,
Aye.
Counselor Gilman,
Aye.
Counselor Grace,
Yes.
Counselor Grow,
Yes, thank you.
Counselor Majota,
Aye.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye, thank you, Kate.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent.
Kate, thank you very much and have a great evening.
Thank you all.
Next up, we have Emily Oliver for the Traffic Commission, term to end 2/15/2027. How you doing tonight, Emily? You just want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Emily Oliver. I'm a lifelong resident of West Gloucester. I was asked by Mr. Bob Ryan to join the Traffic Commission. I thought it would be a good way to get more involved in the community.
Excellent. Is there any questions or comments for Emily? Nope. I would like to say that Emily's family has gone back generations in the city, helping with all kinds of events, sticking the neck out there financially and with their own respect to the dignity to try to make this a better spot and a better place for people. And I thank you for stepping up. And with that being said, Councilor Majota.
Committee recommendation on a motion by Council Worthy, seconded by myself, the Ordinance and Administration Committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend the City Council appoint Emily Oliver to the Traffic Commission, term ending 2/15/27, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call.
Counselor Nolan.
Yes.
Counselor Worthley.
Yes, and thank you.
Counselor Benson.
Aye.
Counselor Gilman.
Aye.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow.
Aye.
Counselor Majota.
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Excellent. Thank you, Emily. Have
you.
a great evening. Next up, we have John Harris from the DPW to work on the Traffic Commission, term to end 2/15/2027. John, how you doing tonight? You just want to give us a brief description of who you are and what you do?
John Harris, I live at 26 Pine Street, lifelong resident. I've been with the DPW for 14 years, started water sewer, now to signs and meters.
Excellent. Is there any council questions or comments for John? Counselor Worthley?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't see you, Dylan.
I don't have a question, just a comment. Thank you first for doing this. I know you don't get paid extra for this volunteer effort,
Yep.
but I feel like you've, in a roundabout way, been on the Traffic Commission, at least in terms of implementing all of the things that the Traffic Commission and this council has put forward. I just want to thank you and wish you well on the committee. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Counselor Worthley. Counselor Benson?
Thank you, John, for stepping up. I just want to say a thank you. And also, we met several months ago when you were cleaning up the graffiti outside of Central Grammar, and I want to thank you for doing that and your service to our community.
Thank you.
Counselor Gilman?
Thank you. John was my neighbor for many years, and our kids used to hop on the bus together. So, but more importantly, there was a day that I was really struggling with using the kiosk down on Main Street, and you came running over, and you were there, you rolled up your sleeves, and you were just helping me out. And I've seen you do that countlessly to other people and the public. So thank you for that type of community spirit, and I will be supporting you tonight. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Counselor Majota? Do you have a comment?
Oh, I'm ready to read.
I just want to give a word. John, I've known you for about 40 years now. You're a hard worker. You have a great family. You've become the ghost whisperer to our parking kiosks. And it was something that was new to you. You've really taken it on. You've learned, you've worked very hard at it. Your information that brings back to the people that are looking for help and also to the administration is wonderful. And I wish you well. And again, thank you for volunteering on the Traffic Commission. It means a lot to the city.
Thank you.
Even though you're going to have to do all the work that they recommend, is all your job to put those signs up.
It's a process.
Councilor Majota?
Committee recommendation on a motion by myself, seconded by Council Worthy, the Ordinance and Administration Committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council appoint John Harris to the Traffic Commission, term ending 2/15/27, and I so move.
Second.
And this will be by roll call vote.
Counselor Nolan.
Yes.
Counselor Worthley.
Yes. Thank you.
Counselor Benson.
Yes.
Counselor Gilman.
Yes.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow.
Yes.
Counselor Majota.
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
All right, next on the agenda.
That's the consent agenda.
Excellent. Is there any councils that wish to pull any matters off the consent agenda? Officer, Counselor Jason Grow.
Microphone.
Pulling off City Council Order 2025-006.
Okay, and the reason?
We need a citywide waiver of the notice because this is a citywide zoning change.
Excellent. All in favor by roll call? Or any
Val
discussion?
has some.
Do it. So are we not removing the things first and,
Oh, we can remove, yeah, then we can go back.
oh, and then go back?
All right, excellent.
Okay, okay. So may I?
Yes.
I'd like to remove City Council 2025-007 Worthley.
Okay.
If I could just make a point of information, do we have other copies of the agenda? Because I don't know if any of us has
Your
it.
packet,
We
it's
have a
right.
template.
Right at the back of that,
Say
in front of
again?
you.
All stapled together.
So I'm looking through it. I've got the template. I don't have the, oh, there it is. It's all right.
So
This is request the administration facility manager audit.
Yep.
So I'd like to move to approve the consent agenda of January 28th as amended.
So we're not doing this. I have a couple of things I'd like to take off the consent agenda first, too. Don't we go around and
Go ahead.
take?
Then
turns?
I will take back my, my motion.
So management appointments, general counsel, and then reappointments, waterways board. Please.
Whole waterways board?
It's the only,
Only one.
there's only one.
Okay. So,
I would like to approve the consent agenda for January 28th as amended.
all in favor?
It's a roll
Oh,
call.
roll call, sorry.
Counselor Worthley?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Counselor Nolan?
Yes.
Counselor Worthley?
Yes, still.
Counselor Benson?
Yes.
Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Grace?
Yes.
Counselor Grow?
Yes.
Counselor Majota?
Aye.
Counselor Memhard?
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
So if we go back to our original, we would start with Counselor Grow.
Great, thank you very much. I'd like to make a motion to waive notice to abutters in accordance with GZO Section 1.11.4B and set the public hearing date to Tuesday, March 11th, 2025, and vote to refer to P&D and Planning Board.
Second.
This will be our roll call.
Point of information, are we voting to waive or are we waiting to refer?
We're voting to waive and to refer.
So 2 separate votes in one.
It can be one vote. You
Okay,
want
I
it?
just- I should make
I
it,
say one vote's fine.
so combining them is, what we're combining 2 votes, so I'm not going to bifurcate them. Okay,
This will be a roll call.
discussion.
If there is a discussion, if you like.
I just want to understand, I think the public should know, and I appreciate that waiving notification doesn't mean people aren't notified, they're just not notified by mail, right? There's going to be public notification on the city website and other places about this change, correct?
Right, just so that people are clear on the concept, anytime there's a zoning change, abutters to a certain distance are notified by mail. A citywide zoning change would require everyone to be notified by mail, and it's been determined that that is fiscally not advisable. It's expensive to do that. The P&D and the Planning Board will both have meetings, and we will have a public hearing at the City Council, and the Planning Board will have a public hearing in advance of moving this forward. So there will be plenty of notice, and this is going to be first going to the Planning Board, and then we'll come back to P&D when they're resolved with the order.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, this will be by roll call.
Counselor Nolan?
Yes.
Counselor Worthley?
Yes.
Counselor Benson?
Aye.
Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Grace?
Yes.
Counselor Grow?
Aye.
Counselor Majota?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Aye.
All right, so next up, we're going to go back to Counselor Gilman on CC 2025-007 Worthley.
Yes, so that's to request that the administration facilitate a management audit of the school department with the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education in accordance with the Gloucester City Charter, Section 7-12, Management Audits, and request a district review report. I would like that also to be referred to BNF because we will need a funding source. And as you recall, the city council had less than $30,000 budgeted on our line item that included that. And this would probably be 5 to 10 times more expensive than that. So we'll have to find a funding source.
Excellent. Thank you, Council Gilman. Is there any other discussion?
So the question is to add it to, as a referral to BNF. BNF obviously can't, Budget and Finance can't initiate funding. We could suggest funding, I think, but we can't initiate it. The intent was to ask the administration to facilitate that, so they would come back to us with a funding source to be referred to Budget and Finance at that time. But I'm happy to send it to Budget and Finance, but we really can't allocate funds.
Well, may I?
Council Gilman.
So I think that it would be a helpful exercise because there's a possibility that someone will say, someone will need to put that in their budget for fiscal 2026, which we're not in right now, which is something that they could plan to discuss and figure out where they might be able to find the money if they felt that that was important. So I just think that it's a good practical opportunity to hash this out transparently and in front of BNF.
Thank you, Councilor Gilman. Councilor Grow.
I have a question. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it not the council's responsibility to initiate departmental audits? I mean, we're asking the administration to do it, but it's actually a council function. So why would we be sending this to the mayor's office to begin with?
So,
This is,
We do have Councilor Worthley had his hand up first.
right. So 20 years ago, when an audit was conducted, maybe a little more than that, it was sent to the administration first to identify the funding to do that. And that's how it was conducted. This was done in consultation with the city clerk in terms of looking at historic paths of doing this, as well as the city auditor. The actual conducting of the audit is a responsibility of the council. The funding would be a mayoral decision. And that's why, and I appreciate having a nice exercise at Budget and Finance to be transparent about what it would cost, but I would think there'd be no pending action to send it to Budget and Finance to say, like, if it's on our agenda, what do? We just talk about what it might cost. We'd have to ask the purchasing department to do RFPs and get some quotes, and that's down the road, I would imagine. So that would be addressing to, I'm happy to send to Budget and Finance. I just don't know what action we could actually perform until we have a request from the mayor. And then as far as, yes, it's a council decision to do an audit, but the funding would be the part of the facilitated management audit, the request from the administration like it was done before.
All right, excellent. Councilor Gilman, you had another question on that.
so when we looked into this more recently than 22 years ago, we had an opportunity to talk with Kenny and talk with city administration, and they developed an RFP that they gave to purchasing, of which they went and solicited bids for auditors that were interested. And at that point, we only got one, and it was about 5 times more than the money that we had in our city council budget. And we decided that it was just way too much money because the wording in our city charter is a little bit different than how things have evolved today with audits. And, so what we talked about is that sometimes you have to scope it down in your RFP. And if you didn't do that, you would be getting bids that were just insurmountable amount of monies that are taking these companies a year to do the audit from start to finish. And that's just not something that we would be able to afford.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Gilman. Councilor Gross.
So
Grow.
it's okay. That's right. My knee hurts right now anyway. Aren't we not putting the cart before the horse here? I mean, the council hasn't even decided on whether or not we want to do an audit of the school department. So why would we send it to the mayor's office without having a discussion about whether or not, one, it's appropriate to do it this time and whether or not we're going to seek the funding? I mean, at this point, we ought to be sending to ONA. Should the city council initiate an audit of the school department before we have a discussion about whether or not we send it to the mayor's office?
I'd like to make a motion on this, that we continue this 2 weeks so we can get together and get more facts on what the process is and how we want to do this. Okay, there seems to be a lot of questions. I understand what's going on. I was involved with the last audit that we were looking to do, and how much the charter says we have to do than how much we have to come up with. So maybe we put it through to BNF in a mayor's request, and then when the mayor's comes back with the answer, then this would go before Budget and Finance, or maybe table it until we get more information in 2 weeks. And Councilor Worthley.
Yes. So first of all, I agree with Councilor Grow. The first question is, does the city council want to do this? And that would be a discussion that would start from us sending it to Ordinance Administration Committee and then back to the council to make that decision. Then the next step, the horse would be next before the cart, would be, Mr. Mayor, if we agree we want to do this, can you identify the funds? And then that'd be a referral to Budget and Finance. This wasn't just on a whim. I actually put this in a couple weeks ago and then it didn't make it in on time. But Madam Clerk, without putting you in any awkward position, we discussed this via email and Kenny Costa did as well, that the first step is a referral from the council to O&A. And that's why it's before us as is. And then if there's funding for this, and the council decides if there's funding, then it'd be a budget question.
That's what was done in 2003 or 2005 for the school audit.
Can I suggest then that we amend the order, moving it forward and take the administration out of the equation at this point? So that we would amend the order to say, request that the city council determine whether or not to initiate a management audit of the school department, with Mass Department of Education, blah, blah, blah. I think we're premature in sending it to the administration.
Would not send, the send is to the Ordinance Administration Committee where that can be discussed, amended, right? The only discussion before the council now is, do we refer this to O&A for discussion there? We would it'd come back to the council. If we want to reword it and amend it, you certainly have a bite at the apple at that point.
Right, but again, the actual order says request that the administration facilitate a management audit of the school department. It's not the administration that would facilitate the audit, it would be the city council. So I'm just saying, let's take this administration out of the equation at this point and say, request that the city council initiate a management audit of the school department. That's the question that O&A would then address. Questions of funding would certainly come up in that, and I think the BNF would also be advised to be part of that conversation, because we are looking at potentially $250,000, $300,000 at a time when $250,000 and $300,000 is a significant amount of money. I guess I just want to take the administration out of this, so that we're not asking the wrong question.
All right. This isn't the place to talk about the condition of the order. It's about the order as being informed. It's about the referral. So we can continue with the referral to O&A and add Budget and Finance to it, and then work from those two committees out and find out what we want to do. So is everybody all right with that?
I'm okay with
A
that.
motion?
Yeah.
Should I second it?
So
You don't have to second.
So, and I so move.
Second.
All righty, this will be our roll call.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes.
Counselor Benson,
Aye.
Counselor Gilman,
yes.
Counselor Grace,
Yes.
Counselor Grow,
Yes.
Counselor Majota,
Aye.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
All right, next up, we have on the consent agenda, we have from Counselor Worthley, we have a question on General Counsel Suzanne Egan.
I did, so have we already approved the rest of the consent agenda already? Okay. So regarding the general counsel, we received an email after business hours today. It was a response to my request from a week ago, asking for a list of all pending litigation. And if I recall, at the meeting, I'd also asked for cases that have been settled and the results of those, which wasn't included in the email, but I could appreciate that maybe that was more than what I asked. It was implied, I think I said it, I haven't reviewed it, but, so we got that late today. I'd be happy to continue or vote on this, but I wondered if we want to have any conversation about that email with a list of pending litigation. Does anybody want to discuss that?
Counselor Grow.
I'm not sure that the list of pending litigation is relevant to whether or not we reappoint our city solicitor.
On the agenda, the pending litigation?
No,
Okay, so that may not be that may be in direct violation of open meeting law. If this is not on the
Hold on.
agenda, if this isn't, I don't see this on the, maybe I'm missing something. Acting president. I don't see any pending litigation on the agenda. Am I missing something?
There's two things. One, everything should go through the chair. And second of all, this is something that was done after hours. The emails were sent out after business.
I did see the.
Yes. But I would suggest, in my own opinion, that this has nothing to do with the appointment to our general counsel. There may be things on that that we can't answer because it's in litigation, or there's issues with personnel. It's up to Council Worthley how he'd like to proceed with this. Me personally, I think that I'd like to take this off the agenda and not bring this into conversation tonight, due to the fact that I have not seen the email because I do get out of work and don't check it. And I don't think that that would be something that would hold up an appointment.
I have a point of order.
Go ahead, Council Gilman.
The point of order that I would like to stress right now is that this is an appointment to a member of city staff. And that's what we should be focused on right now. So I think I would ask that you, as the chair, would allow us to vote on this, because I believe that my point of order accurately reflects why this isn't part of the conversation tonight about reappointing our general counsel. And I so move.
Council Gilman, I'll second that vote and allow it.
A motion. Make a motion on a point of order? He just needs to validate the point, and then we get back to the discussion.
And then that document that our council president sent out says that you can vote something if you need to make a decision and move forward.
So,
you want me to get
I'm
it
sorry,
out?
I'm sorry, it's your meeting. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay, so what Council Gilman is saying that we can vote a point of order. I don't know if we can vote it as a motion, but we can vote the point of order. It's confusing to me on that part of it.
Outcome. It's an
It's the
outcome of the
outcome, yeah,
point.
exactly.
And what I'm saying is that
Yeah.
I move.
All right, so, and you're
I
right,
can-
I do agree with the point of order, so we can vote for the outcome.
Okay, so
So-
I'm moving that we vote to reappoint General Counsel Suzanne Egan tonight.
Second.
second it. Second.
Council Majota.
I just don't I understand what just happened. I just don't understand what the email that we got after hours has anything to do with what she has proven the past 4 years when we ask questions with legal questions regarding any laws or rules that we have to follow. Suzanne Egan has been professional in being able to answer those questions for us. I think it's based on the performance, and I don't understand why this is the second holdup with our general counsel.
It's not the second hold up. This is the first time we've having a
Point of order.
conversation about it.
Point of order.
Council Rose, the floor.
The counselor has not been recognized by the chair.
I'm just want to stress this pending litigation email. This was not on our agenda. And I don't think we should be discussing this email about
Point of
pending
order,
litigation
Vince.
was not on the agenda.
Point of order.
It wasn't on the
Let's
agenda.
talk about Robert's rules, point of order.
Second.
I have the floor.
I am going to go to Council Worthley on this.
Thank you. So I pulled it off the consent agenda for discussion. At the Ordinance Administration Committee, which we voted on, one of the conditions was that we would have some information that would inform tonight's decision. At least that's something I needed. One of the pieces of information was a list of lawsuits we've won or lost over the last 4 years, which does speak to, as you mentioned, job performance. We don't have that. We got an email at 4:47 with just the list of pending litigation, which was a part of the equation. So I want the information that will help inform our decision. I'm not going to, we don't have the authority to talk about the litigation. I appreciate that the email is not on the agenda, but the motion's on the agenda, which was a reflection of we would be getting this information to support the decision that we made at O&A. So it's part of the equation. If it's not a public, it's not a violation of open meeting law to have received an email from the administration. The administration is not subject to open meeting laws. The council is. If we received it, we received it. We received it late. Some of us may have read it. Some of us may have not. It's missing the piece that I thought would be helpful in terms of knowing whether we are more litigious in terms of going after residents and business owners, and it's whether we are winning or losing lawsuits. And I think that's relevant to the job performance. But if we just want to talk about the motion on the table to approve the general counsel, we can just do that and not worry about an email that came in late.
That's what I'd like to do.
Okay.
Counselor Grow.
Just want to point out that the list of cases pending, the list of cases won or lost is not, in my view, relevant to the reappointment of the city solicitor. I don't think anyone on this dais is qualified to determine whether a loss in court is necessarily representative of one's capability in terms of representing at a court. There's a vast number of situations that might change on any given case, and certainly very well equipped, very well qualified lawyers can lose cases. Half of them do all the time. So to sit there and suggest that we are going to hold up our city solicitor, who frankly I agree has been incredibly professional, incredibly responsive, and is always willing to go and do all the work that we have asked her to do, on the basis that who have no legal background can judge her performance in a court of law or whether or not a case is settled, I think is frankly asking far too much of our capabilities as counselors. I think we should simply agree that there are cases we're going to win, cases we're going to lose, and cases we're going to settle. But by and large, I would put my stock in trade in Suzanne Egan to represent this council in this city. So I'm going to be supporting her reappointment.
One more time for Counselor Worthley.
Thank you. So I concede that whether we won or lost court is not necessarily a reflection of our attorney, and I respect that point. My experience has been a little bit different. I had tried to put forward an ordinance on regulating wind turbines, and for 6 months I was told it would be ready in 2 weeks. The review would be ready in 2 weeks. I didn't get that. The ball hockey group over in Stage 4 Park cost them $100,000 because we held them up legally for
So I have a point of order.
Counselor Gilman.
This is not the time where we have this type of conversation about performance. If these have been issues that you have been concerned about, there is a venue for you to do that through the management.
What's the point of order again? That's the point. We
I-
have the
I'm
Robert's rules.
feeling like
Off the
this
cuff.
is not relevant to what is in front of us right
All right.
now.
So at this point, as it's been suggested from Counselor Worthley, I'd like to call the roll on the appointment for Suzanne Egan. And with that being said, we don't have to have a motion, it's an amendment to the consent agenda. So the committee report's already been read, isn't it? We already rented that, so it's just need a vote. Roll call, please.
That was already, I made the motion. correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Counselor
It's
Nolan.
Superfluous.
Sorry.
Yes.
Counselor Worthley.
No.
Counselor Benson.
Aye.
Counselor Gilman.
Yes.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow.
Yes.
Counselor Majota.
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 7 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Excellent, thank you. Next up from Counselor Worthley, he has an amendment over Waterways Board Donna Crocker for a term to expire 2/16/2028. I would ask Counselor Worthley not to get into too much depth. There's no one here to represent themselves, and in the presence of a no vote, a no vote is understandable at this point.
Thank you.
So is there any discussion?
So has there been there's been a motion on this?
Yeah, we have. It's on the consent agenda.
Okay. So I will be supporting the reappointment of Donna Crocker. I think she's done an excellent job. I've watched a lot of the Waterways Board meetings, and she has a good command of the issues that are in front of us. And I think she spoke to us last week, explained the issues that we might be concerned about, and I feel like it was absolutely helpful to hear from her. And I've watched that meeting back in November, so I will be supporting her, and I'm grateful for her volunteerism.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Gilman. Anybody else like to speak tonight? No.
Yeah, I also watched the meeting last week, and I want to, as much as I can, apologize to Donna Crocker for what she had to deal with at the ONA meeting. You know, if a counselor has issues with a particular appointment, especially volunteer appointments, I would hope that that person would take up that issue prior to the person coming before ONA, have a discussion, voice their concerns to the administration,
Point of order.
and not,
We're doing this.
excuse me, I'm
No,
speaking.
I'm point of order. You call point of orders me, I'm going to call on you now. Point of order.
Councilor Worthley.
Point is, I was asked to stand in at ONA at 5:15, 5:30,
He's making an
and
explanation.
I didn't have any opportunity to speak to someone who spoke to all the other counselors except me. So I don't know how you can be
He's-
saying I
he's
should have
making an
done something that
explanation.
wasn't humanly
Sorry.
possible.
All right, so that's an explanation, an argument.
I know.
not-
it does it all
Not
the
a
time.
reason for a point of order.
What I will say, in continuing my line of thinking here, is that the counselor had enough time to assemble a couple of gotcha questions that he sprung on Donna at the time. So the idea that he was completely unable to prepare for this meeting seems a little out of character from what the behavior was at the time. I'm just asking that this council recognize that people put hundreds of hours into their city. Not every person who comes before us is still going to get approved, but nobody should be put into a position of having gotcha questions, especially ones that turn out to be incorrect, in a public meeting without the ability to respond and prepare for that. I think it's unprofessional on our behalf, and I think it's really unfair to volunteers who come before the city council.
On the motion.
Go to Councilor Majota.
I'm in support of Donna. I think as watching the video myself, and as an individual who she takes full responsibility for her actions and is not denying anything. I think that shows a great judge and character. And I'm not saying that people deserve a second chance, but I think if someone can own their mistake, I will support them.
Excellent. Councilor Benson.
Thank you. I will be supporting the reappointment of Donna Crocker, and I watched the ONA meeting and also the meeting prior. People are not perfect. We are all imperfect people. We deserve grace. And when someone owns up to their mistakes, they deserve grace. And she has served this city and moved the Waterways Board forward in many great ways. And as my counselor, I almost called you Counselor Gross. Counselor Grow has said, like, they are volunteering for free. And we need volunteers on our boards and commissions, as we've made changes with our ordinances for boards and commissions because we don't have enough people to reach a quorum. So I will again support Donna Crocker, and I believe that we, as a quote says, people who are not perfect but have flaws and make mistakes because they are human, and we all deserve grace. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Benson. Councilor Grace.
Hi, thank you. I spoke with Donna, and I asked her some pretty straightforward questions, and she at no point in time made any excuses for a mistake that she made. She owned it, she accepted it, and she came before ONA and right off the bat, addressed the elephant in the room without hesitation. Whatever else happened with any other issue that Councilor Worthy has, we are not, I am not knowledgeable of all of that, and I would like to just leave it out of the equation if possible. as Counselor Benson said, none of us are perfect. There is no lack of people in this community who complain about the way things are done, and very few people actually step up and throw their hat in the ring. And I think if somebody is willing to do that and willing to own up to their mistake, then we should accept that and we should start kind of with a clean slate. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Grace. At this point, I am going to close discussion.
I haven't spoken on the motion yet,
The motion is going to be read in a second.
but I haven't spoken on the motion yet.
We haven't read the motion.
Oh, everybody here has spoken.
We have
on
to
it.
rewrite it because you just pulled off the consent agenda
Okay.
as a board member. So the motion is for Donna Crocker to be extended on the Waterways Board with her term to expire 2/16/2028, and I so move.
Second.
All right. The motion has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion?
On the motion. Thank you. I'd like to clarify a few things. I don't think that my reputation of supporting volunteerism and volunteers should ever be questioned. I think we all give a lot of credit to our volunteers, and it's something that's very important to me as well. I came to the meeting as being asked to sit in because there was an illness, and it was about 4:45, 5 o'clock that I learned that. So I didn't have time to call people in advance and do some research. And I was told at the meeting that the person owned up to a mistake, which I didn't even know what the mistake was until afterwards. I'd heard about it, but I didn't know what she was actually referring to. The question for me is not being unforgiving or not being kind or not being graceful. That's not the issue at all. There's an accountability question and there's a liability question. If any city employee was drinking on the job, they wouldn't be working any longer. Okay? If any of us were drinking on the job, we wouldn't be we would lose our jobs. Okay? And so when that happens in a formal meeting where someone could say it was a mistake, it was a mistake that they got caught doing that. I know you're going to call a point of order, but I'd like to finish my point. So saying I own up to my mistake without actually acknowledging what the mistake is, I think that's not actually being accountable. Then there's the question of, we have children who are serving on our boards and commissions, I think the one that you represent. We got to look towards, okay, what is the role model effect that we're having of people drinking on the jobs? That's one thing. You can't be in a
Order.
formal meeting and consuming alcohol.
All right, we do have a point of order
And
on
then-
the floor.
I think Councilor Worthley is taking the opportunity to go into the issue, even though Donna Crocker's not here to defend herself or to speak on her own accord. You asked that this not be delved into, and Councilor Worthley is delving into it, I think with great glee, and I find it offensive.
All right. Without any objection, I'd like to call the roll on the vote, please. And this would be by roll call.
Counselor Nolan.
Yes.
Counselor Worthley.
No.
Counselor Benson.
Yes.
Counselor Gilman.
Yes.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow.
Yes.
Counselor Majota.
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Enthusiastically, aye.
Vote is 7 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the administration, to all our volunteers for being here tonight. We expect great things from all of you, and hopefully you guys have something fun to do later. And Holly, I'll be calling you tomorrow. All right, with that being said, next on the agenda, Madam Clerk.
The January 23rd Budget and Finance Standing Committee report.
Excellent. Thank you. Councilor Worthley, the floor is yours.
I'm sorry, give me 10 seconds here. Okay, so I had the great opportunity to attempt to fill in for Council Memhard. I can tell you, Scott, that I may have filled your shoes that night, but I could never fill your role. You've been a great mentor and did the best I could. And I'm going to continue that with reading the motions for tonight's Budget and Finance report. So let's see, City Council Order 2025-003, which was introduced by Councilors Gross, Nolan, Margiotta, amending beach and stage fort regulations Appendix A. The committee recommendation on a motion by Counselor Worthley, seconded by Counselor Nolan, the Budget and Finance Committee voted 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent, to amend the council order by increasing all non-resident online weekday, weekend, and holiday purchases by $10. And I so move, and then we'll discuss the actual fee increases.
All right,
Second.
I'd like to waive the reading of the minutes on this. Council Worthley, if you want to give a quick synopsis of it, and then I'll join in as a sponsor, then Councilor Majota can as well.
Thank you. So it's in our packet, it's online if people want to see it. Just to be clear, this is not increasing any fee for a resident. It's literally the opposite of that. The proposal that came in as a council order was to increase beach fees for every kind of vehicle, van, bus, motorcycle, passenger vehicle, by $5. And in the discussion, sorry, $5 for weekends, holidays, and weekdays. In the discussion at the Budget and Finance Committee, we decided to go to $10 more. The proposal initially was going to bring in about $345,000 to $350,000 estimated in additional revenue. By going to $10, we expect and hope that this brings us an additional $700,000 into the city budget. If we find that somehow people are saying that's too much money and they decide not to come to the beach, we can obviously go lower at that point if necessary. But this here would do a lot to, well, start filling the gap that the mayor said that there's a budget deficit of $3 to $4 million. This certainly does not replace $3 to $4 million, but it's one of those things where every bit helps. So the motion on the table is to accept the $10 per day increase on weekdays, weekends, and holidays for all vehicles. And if anybody has any questions about the decision to go from 5 to 10, or if any questions about the process, I'd be happy to answer them as best I could.
Excellent, thank you, Councilor Worthley. Councilor Majota, as a sponsor on this, would you like to speak?
I think my biggest concern with going, originally I did want the $5, where you said it would be about $300,000 increase. I don't want to not have people come and then react. I think the reason why I said $5 is let's see how it works, a nice little increment by listening to our fellow constituents and brainstorming how we can bring in revenue to the city. I thought $5 was a good first time increase. Then if that goes good and our numbers are the same, I have no problem resubmitting this again for the following year with another $5 increase, so we can see that $10 increase within 2 years rather than just one.
Excellent. So I did some research on this over the past few years because we have dabbled in this. There's a lot of beaches up and down the South Shore that are anywhere from $65 to $100 a day. A $10 increase for going to a beach in Gloucester, I don't think is going to change someone's mind as far as saying, you know, it's $10, you know, well, I'll pay 55 and I'll go to Cohasset instead of paying 45 and go to Gloucester. We have a few things in line with that. Our traffic is wonderful. We have no traffic issue for people to come to the beach. People going to Cape Cod focus on traffic all day long, trying to get there, trying to be there. At $45, we're a bargain. We don't charge people to go to our beaches. You can walk on, it's free. We have shuttles from the train station. We have shuttles from Stage Fort that you can park at a reduced rate at Stage Fort and still take a shuttle to Good Harbor Beach. The idea of putting 5 to 6 or up to 9 people, depending on what size car you have, for $45 a day for a weekend or a holiday is very inexpensive. I mean, you can get lift tickets range from $100 to $150 to go skiing for the day per person. You just can't go to a mountain and bring a picnic with you and sit inside a cafeteria or restaurant and eat. In Gloucester, you can bring all the food you want. You can stop at any of our local stores. You can grab lunches at Virgilio's, Scalfani's, Annie's Variety. You can go to Cafe Bishko. Wherever you desire, you have a reservation. There's no rush to get there. You can set up with your family. You can enjoy some of the cleanest beaches in the city. There are more expenses for the city. We have the pipe and plover issue. That's anywhere up to $50,000 for observers that we have to pay because of pipe and plovers. We have the lost area of the high tide marks because of pipe and plovers. We're not allowed to use equipment on Good Harbor Beach. It has to be pick sticked every day by hand by the DPW at the expense of being able to go out and take care of potholes and other issues that they would normally be working on. Can you imagine going to Good Harbor every day when you get up and go to work and grab a pick stick and a bucket and bags and trying to fish out diapers and then pick up needles if you see them, or trash, or any of that type of stuff? We're inconvenienced by unfunded mandates because of the plovers, which cost money. And we still maintain our beaches in a pristine manner that I'm proud as a Gloucester citizen to say that our beaches are worth $10 more a day for what we have to put into it to offer the opportunity for you to come to your family and to enjoy some of the most fantastic views, weather, and people in all of New England. So I'm happy to support the $10. Motion? Councilor Benson.
I appreciate your passion on this and what you are putting forward. I will not be supporting this, but I do understand where you're coming from and where other councilors are coming from. But I do think people will see this price and will see prices for other beaches, and they'll choose to go to those beaches if they're closer to them. I think that having a lower price leads to more people coming, and you're going to have it booked completely out for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time. I think, as you just alluded to, Councilor Majota, that you were saying you were interested in the $5. I think $10 is too much, so I just will not be supporting that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Benson. Councilor Grace.
Thank you. You know, people wouldn't bat an eye driving through the Starbucks drive-through on the way to Good Harbor Beach and spending, $50 on coffee and iced tea or whatever. So, I'm sorry, $10 is just a drop in the bucket to what people spend on anything and everything. And regardless if you went up 5, 10, 15, it's still the cheapest form of entertainment for a family that there is. So I will support it.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Grace. Councilor Worthley.
Yes, thank you. And I appreciate the sort of behavioral economics questions that come up. If it's too much, do we lose people? And then we have an issue with no money coming in. But one piece of information we don't have, and I can only give you some personal experience. I worked at Good Harbor Beach for 5 years. We would sell 300 or 400 tickets that we would sell for out-of-towners, as we call them, non-residents, and we'd have 2,000 or 3,000 people who wish they could get in. Now with the reservation system, we don't have those people coming and driving around, but you've got to wonder, when people book that last spot and we're full, how many other people would have gone online and said, I would have been happy to pay to go? And then the other piece that we need to keep in mind is that every time we put a request into the mayor, every time we want to see something done in the city, there's a price tag for that. And so as we go into our budget season and, we hear it's going to be a tight budget, well, if this passes, we have a dollar number we can work with that's higher than, if $5 is there, it's higher than we've got to work with from last year. If it's $10, it's even more. And so I appreciate that if we have an experience where we don't fill the lots as much as we would revisit this in September to go down $5. But I support the $10. And also there's some, for example, buses, 26 people on a bus. So going up $10 is $2.06 per person more, right? I don't know that we want to separate that and make that only $5 more. So I will be supporting the motion out of BNF for the $10 because Good Harbor and Wingersteak and Stage 4 are worth it, and because we need the money.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Worthley. Councilor Gilman actually had her hand up first.
Council President, with your permission, may I ask Jill Cahill to come up to the microphone? I have a question, very detailed question.
Okay, Hill.
Thank you.
Should have left when you had the chance.
Well, we'll stay for this. If it's too detailed, I don't know if I'll have an answer, but I'll try.
Okay, so here's my question. I know that the first year we did our parking, our automated parking, we did not offer like a rain check. Can you explain the way we modified that right now? Because this might have an impact on how I vote right now. So Do you
So
understand
the
what I'm?
concept of the banking days? Like,
Yes.
Okay. So I don't think it, we're still working through the, how that was going to work in the system. Can you hear me? I know this was a big deal to get the right microphone in here. Anyway, so I don't think we actually had, that has rolled out yet, but the concept being that you can bank a day. So if you cancel within a certain amount of time in advance, you can use that reservation for another day. But that was not successful. The company, the software company behind the scenes was not successful at getting that to work properly last year, but it's still in discussions for this coming season. So I don't have details on it.
Because that was kind of that was
I can
going to
understand.
substantiate my support of the $10, because to me, that if you were able to get that, that's fair.
Yeah.
But in the old way, if you were being proactive and all of a sudden it poured, you'd be throwing out
I
quite a
will,
bit of money.
I will say, as one skier to another skier, in reference to Counselor Nolan's, we all pay our $150 tickets, right? And if it's a snowy day, an icy day, very rarely do you get a nice day on a ski mountain. That you don't get the option to kind of bank that day and get that back. So, so I'll just put that out there to, if you're making the comparison to other recreational activities, Counselor Grace, I thoroughly, appreciate your reference. I have a teenage daughter, so I understand the cost of Starbucks well. So I think if you're comparing it to other recreational activities, it's important. And I will say, I think the most important piece to keep in mind here is that we are not charging for access to the beach. We are charging for access to the parking. You may access our beaches in a variety of ways, including walking, including bus service. So I think it's really important for the public to understand that the cost of access is to the parking, but the access to the beach remains free.
And I do hope that you're able to negotiate that, because I think that that is the right thing to do. Okay, great, thank you. Thank you.
Jill, if you could just stay there for 1 second, please. Counselor Gilman, thank you very much. Counselor Grow.
Just quickly, when was the last time that we raised rates on parking?
We actually did, we did adjust these since I've been in this role. So we did adjust these rates in the
last 3 to 5
3 to 5 years, something like that, since I've been with the city.
Thank you.
It
Right,
wasn't, it definitely wasn't this council, but I definitely was here, so.
Counselor Memhard.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jill, for your insights there. I 100% agree with Councilor Nolan and Councilor Grace in their comments that our beaches are a rare jewel for the city, and we invest a lot of money in making them accessible and clean, maintaining them properly. And I think we're 100% entitled to increase our rates the way we have proposed at Budget and Finance. I think it's a wise move, and with a tight financial picture ahead of us, it's one proactive step that we can take that actually does make a difference. And I think we should be embracing this with confidence that people recognize the value of our beaches, and will be willing to be paying for it as we're requesting. Thank you.
So thank you, Counselor Memhard. Counselor Grow, please.
Okay, I've been riding the fence on this one. Part of me is very concerned about making things unaffordable for people of lower economic means to enjoy our beaches and all, but I think that if we can get an accurate assessment somewhere midsummer or towards the end of the summer about how our beaches are being utilized and whether or not this is causing a problem in terms of ticket sales, I'd be grateful to get that kind of information. I'm inclined to support this because we don't charge to get on the beach. I would hate to see us go to a band system where people pay by the person, so they'd be paying for parking and for access. But I do also want to see a little bit more of our resources spent on the beaches, more attention paid to the Moby mats and those kinds of things, and utilize some of the resources that the beach generates to do even more for the beach, because it is a treasure in the city, and I do think that while I'm biting a little bit on the $10 increase, I still think that we can use that appropriately and make it work. And if not, we'll reassess at the end of the season.
Thank you, Council Grow. Anybody else tonight? Council Benson?
Thank you. If I may, just, Jill, just quickly, you talked about buses, and I'm not supportive of this, but beyond that, I do think if there is a better opportunity to get more people to maybe take the train. I know people that live in Boston and they would love to take the train, but it's sometimes difficult to get from the train to Good Harbor to Wingershik. But has there ever been a discussion? I know you mentioned buses. Has there ever been a discussion to have some sort of shuttle, maybe not every day, but maybe looking in the future where we could have, maybe it's not every hour, but it's maybe once in the morning, once in the evening, to go from the main train station, Railroad Ave, to Good Harbor and to Winga?
Yeah, I'm sure, because the mayor and I were talking about this, he is supportive of the increase, but also, how else, traffic in general, right? How else can we get people to the buses? He's the chair of the board of CADA, so I'm sure he will initiate that discussion. Currently, there is the shuttle that goes from Stage Fort Park through town at the downtown stops, to make sure that we also award people that opportunity, and to Good Harbor Beach. So that shuttle is available, and I'll make sure he initiates that with the CADA board. And I do want to also just remind everybody that the stops along the bus route also, like I said, do go downtown. And the other initiative we're working on with our contractor, our vendor for the beach parking, is links to Discover Gloucester and the Chambers, so that we can redirect if you can't get a reservation at the beach that day, because that is more of our problem. We don't have a problem selling out the beach. Here's all the other great, incredible, fun things to do in the city of Gloucester. So.
Thank you, and I appreciate the mayor initiating that discussion to maybe say, could we do that? Maybe it's not possible, but maybe we could look at it. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. So we have a motion. We've had our discussion.
I'm sorry, Grace.
Just one more comment that, whenever we add more services, we need the money to pay for it.
Thank you, Councilor Grace. So that being said, you can read the motion.
Committee recommendation on a motion by Council Worthy, seconded by Council Nolan. The Budget and Finance Committee voted 2 in favor.
Oh, wait, no, we've already read that.
Budget and finance.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
sorry.
Jeff.
No, it's already been read.
It's already
Sorry,
read.
second.
Already been read yet, so
Okay.
we're ready for a vote.
Need a reminder, or we know what we're voting? Okay.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes.
Counselor Benson,
No.
Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Grace,
Yes.
Counselor Grow,
Yes.
Counselor Majota,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 7 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Excellent, thank you.
Continue with
And
the committee report.
we can continue with the committee reports from Budget and Finance.
Okay, so the next one is a grant.
Have a good night, Jill.
I'll read the motion, then I'll give a little narrative. On motion of Councilor Worthley, seconded by Councilor Nolan, the Budget and Finance Committee voted 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent, to recommend that the City Council accept under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, 53A, a state grant from the Massachusetts Department of Fish and Game, Division of Marine Fisheries, a fiscal year 25 Great Marsh Green Crab Trapping Grant Program in the amount of $13,000 for the purpose of providing a program to legally collect, remove, and dispose of European green crabs from coastal marine and estuarine waters within its jurisdiction. The grant period is through June 30th, 2025, with no local match required, and I so move.
Second.
Motion?
Council President,
Yes.
let you know that Rebecca Visnick on the.
If there's any questions,
Yep. So if I may,
if you
This
may
way?
go the narrative.
Yep. So, as Councilor Gilman mentioned, Rebecca Visnick is online, but to save her the time, she did a nice presentation at Budget and Finance. This is we've had this grant before. There really isn't a natural market for green crabs, for people to catch them and sell them. So the state has offered this grant because green crabs are an invasive species that is in part destroying our marshes. And so this is a way to say, we're making it, there's a financial incentive for people to be in the industry of collecting green crabs so that we can protect our marshes, which has much positive impact on our environment, clamshell beds, just general safety. So that's why I was happy to support it at the committee. And we thank Rebecca for her hard work as Shellfish Constable. I think that's her official title.
Thank you, Councilor Worthley. Councilor Grow.
Like always, we've had this grant before, and I just like to take the opportunity to steer people over to YouTube and take a look at Nubar Alexanian, who's a local photographer and filmmaker, amazing person. His recipe for disaster, green crabs in the Great Marsh, outlines, and it's only 6 minutes long, outlines the dangers of this invasive species and is well worth a watch.
Thank you, Councilor Grow. Any other discussion or comments? Councilor Benson.
Thank you. I will be supporting this, but if I could ask the Shellfish Warden just quickly, if you could just in like a minute, just talk about this, how this endangers the shellfish industry, the green crabs.
Rebecca, did you hear that? Sorry, Rebecca, we're bringing you in now.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. So green crabs are voracious predators of juvenile shellfish. So they can go through 40 to 80 juvenile shellfish a day. They reproduce 3 times a year as opposed to our native species of crabs. So they're reproducing exponentially. They're eating a lot of our juvenile shellfish, and the way that they interact with the environment, they're actually causing some damage to the marsh habitats as well.
Thank you very much.
Any other discussion or questions?
While Rebecca's at the podium, I just have a quick question. My understanding is that there are natural predators that are helpful in controlling green crabs. Amongst that are sea otters or otters. Is your experience that any of the otter population we have on Cape Ann is contributing to controlling them?
We do not, we have river otters, I believe, but we don't have sea otters on the East Coast. We do have some animals that will prey on them, but because they're not an existing part of our ecosystem, they've come in and have kind of taken over different niches. They're not as common of a preyed item as the native species would be. So the equivalent crab species that have been here are still going to get preyed upon more so than the green crabs. We also have the issue as well as our native species generally only spawn once a year, as the green crabs will spawn 3 or more times a year.
Thank you. I have watched a pair of otters. I don't know if they're sea otters or otherwise in the marsh beyond Farnham's.
Yeah, we get a lot of river otters. They're really fun to see.
Yes, they are indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Memhard. Thank you, Rebecca. Is there any other questions? All right, hearing none, this will be by roll call.
Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Councilor Worthley.
Yes.
Councilor Benson.
Yes.
Councilor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilor Grace.
Yes.
Councilor Grow.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Memhard.
Yes, aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Continuing with the Budget and Finance report, the next 3 motions are for essentially the same issue, and I'll speak to all of them after the first one's on the table. On a motion by myself, seconded by Councilor Nolan, the Budget and Finance Committee voted 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent, to recommend to the City Council, that the City Council accept under Mass General Law, Chapter 4453A, a federal grant from the U.S. Department of Treasury passed through the Commonwealth of Massachusetts from the COVID-19 CVRF-MP Coronavirus Relief Fund in the amount of $2,680,300 $2,680,387 for the necessary expenditures incurred due to the public health emergency with respect to COVID-19. The grant period is from March 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2021, with no local match required, and I so move.
Second. Alrighty,
On the motion?
on the motion.
Thank you. So this is not additional money that we're receiving. This is not any newfound saving grace to patch up our budget or anything. This was, this today is partly a accounting, record-keeping step to make sure that all our Ts are crossed and Is are dotted. This was brought forward to us from Kenny Costa, our auditor, who was put in charge of this by former CAO Jim Destino, and he just wants to be certain that everything is done right. And so I'd love to say we've got this extra money to spend and work with, but we don't. It's a bookkeeping measure, and that's why it's very easy discussion. So that's it. I'd be supporting it.
Any questions or comments on this? Seeing none, it's by roll call.
Counselor Nolan.
Yes.
Counselor Worthley.
Yes.
Counselor Benson.
Yes.
Counselor Gilman.
Yes.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow.
Yes.
Counselor Majota.
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Next, on a motion myself, second by Councilor Nolan, the Budget and Finance Committee voted 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent, to recommend that the City Council accept under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, 53A, a federal grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, known as FEMA, passed through the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, known as MEMA, for the administration of COVID-19 vaccination in the amount of $23,633.95. The grant period is from March 27th, 2020 through July 31st, 2023, with no local match required, and I so move.
Second. Is there any questions or comments to this? Councilor Benson.
I had a question, maybe for Jill, if you don't mind me asking, looking at this. Oh yeah, sorry. Just looking at this and understanding decisions that happened at the executive today, and there's discussion also possibly of an executive order abolishing FEMA. I'm just wondering what kind of concept, like, would the city be on the hook for money if that could happen? I'm just thinking out loud, but also since we're here, would there be financial consequence? Would we be on the hook for this money if, say, that happened?
I have no way to answer that.
Okay.
As you know, because of it's an ever-changing landscape
Yep.
right now. I'm gonna assume, so the COVID money that we've spent, that's all under, the ARPA money is all under contract. All this funding spent or is under contract. So that's not something we're putting energy into worrying about right now. But I mean, in these uncertain times, I'm not sure I can answer anything definitively that involves the federal government.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. And I just looking at this and thinking of FEMA.
We don't,
could be
I
things.
think Councilor Worthley spoke to Kenny. We've spoken to our general counsel, Suzanne Egan. I mean, we don't, their CFO currently with current funding that's spent or under contract, we are not concerned. Our pending grants, like our community development block grant, things like that we're expecting money, those are a different topic. But again, everything's uncertain.
Ongoing. Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jill. And Councilor Benson, this is money that's already been spent.
I understand
So
that. I'm
where's
just
that
trying to
coming
understand
in?
because like I understand there is discussion to abolish FEMA in a few days. So I'm
Right.
just want to just
But-
see what could happen. And I think Jill answered as best she can, and I appreciate that candor. Thank
So
you.
The next one also is the same type of.
Yeah, and that's why I knew, and that's why I was just wanting to get that.
Councilor Grow.
I just want to, I want to back up your concern over this, because while this is money that's already been spent, and we expect that this money will come in, if the federal government is successful in its effort to derail significant grant funding to states and localities, this is exactly the kind of stuff that's going to come in and wreak havoc
Mhm.
on our budgets and our ability to provide services and public safety and other areas that we don't have any idea right now the extent of the damage that this could cause. So I think you're right to be concerned. I think we should definitely agree and vote these in and get the money as quickly as we can.
Yes.
To sort out our budgetary issues, but we're going to have much more to deal with coming forward.
And I appreciate, if I may, Council President, and thank you, Councilor Grow. And I really do appreciate Jill and understanding the fluidity of this. And I'm just thinking, because there is discussion in the next few days of basically abolishing FEMA. So I just wanted to just think about this as we're going forward. So I appreciate
President.
me being able to ask these questions.
Council Worth, I believe you're going to answer the same thing I was just going to say.
We have a motion on the table about money that's been spent. It's gone. It came in, it's out. And this is an accounting step to be sure that we have a record of having spent the money appropriately. As you can see, the grant period ended July 31st, 2023. So we're not voting on, and I share your concern, but the business report today is an accounting step to make sure that we have made sure we've got the record correct on how that money was spent.
Yes, but
Okay.
there's always,
It's fair.
there's contingencies, and I think we just need to be cautious. And so I agree with Councilor Grow, is that we need to get this passed and move forward on it as quickly as possible.
All right, I'd like to bring in Kenny Coster. He has his hand raised. He can clarify some of this for us. Thank you, Kenny.
Good evening, counselors. I just want to let you know that all the monies of the COVID-19 grant, all the monies have been spent and they have all been received. We just received our last reimbursement of $673,000 within the last month. So all the monies have been received, and they're all they're all been accounted for. So I just wanted to let the city council to be aware.
Excellent. Thank you, Kenny. With that being said, this will be a roll call.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes.
Counselor Benson,
Yes.
Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Grace,
Yes.
Counselor Grow,
Yes.
Counselor Majota,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
On a motion of Counselor Worthley, seconded by Counselor Nolan, the Budget and Finance Committee voted 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent, to recommend that the City Council accept under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, 53A, a federal grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency passed through the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency in response to the COVID-19 Public Health Emergency Grant reimbursement with a total of 3 fiscal awards for a total amount of $1,096,739. The grant period is from March 27, 2020 through February 14, 2025, with no local match required, and I so move.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, review by roll call.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes.
Counselor Benson,
Yes.
Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Grace,
Yes.
Counselor Grow,
Aye.
Counselor Majota,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
On a motion by myself, I'm sorry.
I'd like to ask if we take a 2-minute recess.
You can do it.
Got to be voted.
We can vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
All.
Sorry.
Who's seconded, or if not,
I
I
got it.
second it.
Seconded by,
It'll take longer to vote on this than this.
all right, I'm just doing.
Who seconded?
Yes. Oh,
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes.
Counselor Benson,
aye.
Counselor Gilman,
Aye.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow,
Yep.
Counselor Majota,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor. We're in recess for 5 minutes. Just a reminder, the microphones are not muted right now.
Back in the old days, you had to press a button for them to activate. So it'd be off if you weren't pressing on if it was. You might see me like doing this sometime. It's old habit still. I was gonna say. That's what you're saying.
Oh, I watched it.
Okay, yeah, one of the rabbi from Chabad was there. Okay, he was sending me something else. So I'm glad he was there.
2001?
No, that wasn't him. That was I don't even.
Wait for people to sit. Someone wrote me a love letter.
Is that how you get your pay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Back into city council.
Counselor Worthley, you may continue. We're back from recess.
So we have a number of acceptance of grants. We're very blessed to have many people in the community donating, and in different departments that have received it, we have to accept them. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to make a consent agenda motion. Wait,
You said grants, or these just donations?
Donations.
thank
Okay.
you for the clarification.
No worries.
I
It's,
misspoke.
no, it's okay. I
No.
just wanted to just make sure.
Donations, I'm sorry. There's a number of donations, and the suggestion was made that we combine them in the consent agenda. So what I'm going to do is make a motion that we accept all of the motions from Budget and Finance in one motion. And I'm going to list through the grants, though, so we can have a brief discussion on that, but we don't have to do a roll call.
Donations.
Sorry, donations. So we don't have to do a roll call vote for each. We do a roll
Second.
call vote on the whole thing. Sorry. So do I make a motion that we accept it? I make a motion that we accept all of the grants, all the donations via consent agenda that are offered in the minutes from Budget and Finance.
Second.
Numbers 4 through, hang on, you're ahead of me. Yes, 4 through 9. So a motion on accepting them, but I have to also read them. So is that, are you taking a motion to have a consent agenda, or a motion that it is a?
Counsel- May I help? So typically, what Council Memard does is that he just reads the tagline, and then he asks if anybody would like to remove one of those. He makes that the consent agenda.
Okay.
So in that way, we can discuss something that just jumps out, but you do need to read the little line, as
Yeah,
you
we
just
have to do
said.
that. I was planning that. I thought we didn't need to put the motion on the table first, but okay, let me read each of number 4 through 9. These are donations we've received. The first one is a memorandum from the DPW director regarding a cash donation for the Cemetery Commission, and that was from Philip Austin Bray for $250. And then we had a memorandum from the Veterans Service Director to support Cape Ann Veteran Services in the amount of $3,250 from Edward Camo, Gloucester World War II Memorial Fund, and Greg and Kelly Verga for a total of $3,250. Memorandum from the Archives Committee for a donation of $500 from the Daughters of the American Revolution Cape Ann chapter. A memo from the Public Works Financial Manager for the acceptance of $256 for the Gloucester Historical Burial Grounds. And I don't see that it says there who that donation was from. And then the last one is a memorandum from the Director of Elder Services requesting acceptance of donations in total of $2,925. Donations from the Cape Ann Savings Bank, Richard Semple, Peter LaFata, John Perry, Kathleen Pomfret, Rose Shalino, Paul Boucher, Arlene O'Neill, Brenda Burns, and Antonio Grillo, again for a total of $2,925. And the last one is from a memorandum we received from the Department of Public Works. The director was asking us to accept a donation for the Langsford Street Cemetery in the amount of $500 from Carroll Steel Insurance Agency. Those are all the donations, and the motion is on accepting all of them.
Second.
All right, and this will be made by any discussion or comments.
Just thank you for all the managers that brought those to us and all of the community members who have donated.
This will be by roll call, please.
Counselor Nolan.
Yes.
Counselor Worthley.
Yes.
Counselor Benson.
Yes.
Counselor Gilman.
Yes.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow.
Yes.
Counselor Majota.
Aye.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
The vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
The last thing from Budget and Finance is we can't wait to have you back, Scott and Tony, so you don't have to endure my reading of motions. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you, Jeff.
Excellent. Next up, Madam Clerk.
The January 21st, 2025 Special Ordinances and Administration Meeting.
Right, Councilor Majota. And again, this is something that we've all had in front of us and what we're looking to get done. And I'd like to ask if we can waive the reading in full and just go by motion. All right, without any, go ahead, Councilor Majota.
Committee recommendation on a motion by Council Worthy, seconded by Council Marjota. The Ordinance and Administration Committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council vote to authorize the mayor to petition the General Court for the special acts of sanity as follows. And I so move.
Any
Second.
questions or discussion? Seeing none, this
Should
will
we
be a
just
roll call.
discuss what it is in general?
Go ahead.
Council-
You want to do it? You're on the meeting.
Yeah, I gotta quickly sum it. So the city's general counsel asked us to accept this act. It is to, I believe it is to reduce the number of people on the Fisheries Commission, if I remember, so that we have an active committee. So it's pretty straightforward. If there's any questions, we can dig into it, but it's recommended by the administration.
It'll help them reach a quorum.
That being said, do we have the roll?
Counselor Nolan.
Yes.
Counselor Worthley.
Yes.
Counselor Benson.
Aye.
Counselor Gilman.
Aye.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow.
Yes.
Counselor Majota.
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Excellent. Next on the agenda, Madam Clerk.
January 22nd, 2025 Planning and Development Standing Committee Report.
You got nothing.
That being said, next on the agenda, Madam Clerk.
Public hearing 2025 number 1, petition to reduce the speed limit on Salt Island Road and Palfrey Road in accordance with GCO Chapter 21, Section 21-87 and 21-88, and MGL Chapter 90, Section 19.
All right, I'd like to open the public hearing and ask for anybody speaking in favor. Councilor Memhard, would you like to say anything on this?
Absolutely. I don't know if there should be several members of the Salt Island neighborhood in attendance, but this has been a long, complicated road between the status of these roads being private and going back and forth with the Massachusetts TOT. The members of the Salt Island Road Safety Committee have been very diligent, persistent on this, trying to reduce the traffic of their neighbors and all the delivery people in the neighborhood, and then a lot of beach traffic as well on Salt Island and Palfrey roads. So this has been a long sought and eagerly desired step to creating more safe roads in this neighborhood.
Excellent, thank you. Counselor, this is obviously an end to a great project down there, which has been well worth taking. Is it?
Two people
Yep.
here.
Yeah, and I've asked if anybody else would like to speak in favor. You don't have to, we know where you are.
Come up and talk. Come on, you
Excellent.
guys. Come on.
That's right.
Come talk
Leave 'em
to us.
alone.
These are my old neighbors. They're awesome.
They
Come
don't want to
on.
talk.
They're not old in age. They're just old, friendly neighbors.
They're just happy.
Name and address.
My name is Gary Morgan. I live at 27 Salt Island Road. And since the roads have been repaved, they're beautifully done, smooth and slick, and the traffic has just been flying by. I work in my garage quite a bit, which is very near the road, and the traffic has just been insanely fast going by there. It's a real safety concern for pedestrians, for cars backing out, for pets, anything. So when we saw this ordinance, which I think is brand new, that allows us to petition the city council to reduce the speed limit, we jumped on it. Jim represents Palfrey Road, and we got all the signatures required. I represent Salt Island Road, And the people on these roads are, as you can see, meet the requirements for 60% and more. On Salt Island Road, I will say some of the signatures were rejected. I guess they weren't verified, but I could verify all them, and if I did, that would be 90-some% on Salt Island Road. So, but in all fairness, we still met the 60 even without verifying those additional signatures. And the people that weren't verified, I could mention them to Val, and I think she'd know that. Yeah, the Hemians, and they are real. They have the authority to sign it. But anyway, yeah, thank you.
Mike, please.
I'm Jim Niles, no relation to Niles Beach or Niles Pond. My family's been on Palfrey Road since 1952, and as Gary said, we've really had a problem with not only in the summer but also during the year-round, actually. And we wanted to thank the committee for looking at this request, and we look forward to a positive vote. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you all.
Here, here.
Next up, is there anybody speaking in opposition? Seeing none online or in present. Is there any communications, Madam Clerk?
There are none.
All right. Is there any councilor questions to the applicant or staff? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and have the motion. Councilor Majota.
P8. Move to motion to speed limit here. Move to set the speed limit on Papley Road to 50 miles an hour in accordance with GCO Chapter 21, Section 21 through 87, and 21 through 88, and MGL Chapter 90, Section 19. Motion to move the speed limit on the private.
Second.
All right. So on the first motion, this will be a roll call. We can discuss it. Yes, there's a discussion.
So because of the awesome betterment process that you established about 9 years ago, Councilor Nolan, the roads are now beautifully paved, and with that comes cars that are speeding a lot more than in the olden days when there were always potholes. And I think that this is a great community opportunity for folks on private roads, and I think they did everything that they needed to do to get the signatures, and I'm excited that they stayed here for the whole night, and I really do appreciate it. So I will be supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gilman. Any other questions or comments? Councilor Rowe?
No.
Councilor Worthley?
Yes. Firstly, it's great to see the neighborhood coming out. I also want to thank Councilor Memhard for organizing this. If you recall, this was a change that we made to the ordinance just last year, I believe, and I think it was Councilor Gross that brought this forward to make it easier for people who live on private roads to advocate for themselves. And I appreciate you did jump on this to get people to slow down. People drive way too fast, and I'm hopeful that lowering the speed limit and it's great that there's a nice road. You don't want the potholes back to slow people down, but this might be helpful. And also, hopefully, we can have some enforcement of the newer, lower speed limit as well. Great work.
Thank you, Councilor Worthley. Anybody else? All right, with that being said, we'd like to have the roll.
Councilor Nolan.
Yes.
Councilor Worthley.
Yes.
Councilor Benson.
Yes.
Councilor Gilman.
Yes.
Councilor Grace.
Yes.
Councilor Grow.
Yes.
Councilor Majota.
Yes.
Councilor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent.
Excellent. Councilor Majota?
Motion. Move to set the speed limit on the private portion of Salt Island Road to 50 miles an hour in accordance with GCO Chapter 21, Section 21 through 87, and 21 through 88, and MGL Chapter 90, Section 19, and I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilors? All right, I'd just like to say that you guys are very lucky to have Councilor Memhard working with you. He's had quite a few of very difficult private road situations that he's navigated through, found a way to get things done as a neighborhood and to get things working the best they can for the citizens. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of paperwork and footwork on your behalf as well. It's a partnership between you and your city council to get things done. And the whole neighborhood looks wonderful. And the renditions for the new Good Harbor Beach House or whatever they used to call that, that looks like it's going to be beautiful as well. So your neighborhood is moving along, and now hopefully it'll just move along a little slower. So that being said, we have a roll.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes.
Counselor Benson,
Aye.
Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow.
Yes.
Counselor Majota.
Aye.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great night. Next on the agenda, Madam Clerk.
Public hearing 25, number 2, Council Order 24, number 25, from Councilors Worthley and Benson. Amend GCO Section 22-284, Service or Loading Zones, by deleting Main Street northerly side from a point 132 feet from the intersection of Short Street for a distance of 25 feet in an easterly direction in front of 62 through 64 Main Street, and adding Main Street northerly side from a point 132 feet from the intersection of Short Street for a distance of 25 feet in an easterly direction in front of 62 through 64 Main Street from 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m.
Excellent. Thank you, Madam Clerk. So I'd like to open the public hearing. And I ask if there's anybody in the audience to speak in favor or anybody online. Seeing none, I'd like to defer to Councilor Benson.
Sure. I mean, Counselor Worthley was the one who brought this forward. I signed on after having extensive discussion with Counselor Worthley and also with the chamber and businesses down there that this loading zone was not used 24/7, if that's correct, Counselor Worthley, if I remember. And it's to move it to have it from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then in the evening, it will free up an additional spot for our businesses on Main Street, specifically restaurants, who will be much appreciative of having this extra spot. And I know hopefully going down the road, we can be looking at all of these loading zones and possibly bringing more changes. And I appreciate you, Councilor Worthley, for putting this forward and speaking to our businesses on Main Street.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Benson. Councilor Worthley.
Very well said, Councilor Benson. I won't repeat what he said. I just want to make a couple of other points. A loading zone, much like a handicap spot, is not for the business that it's in front of. Anybody can use it that loads something. And so even though this spot, I think I provided photos, is in front of Oliver's, and they don't need a loading zone at all. They have their own parking lot, and they would be happy with it to be gone completely. We want to make sure, and with Council Benson's help and the Chamber of Commerce, we went door to door and checked with businesses in the area. And there were some businesses that depend on that spot, even though it's not right in front of their business. And so we decided to look at just shortening the time frame, because when you really think about deliveries for businesses, they don't come at night. They don't come on the weekends like this. And so we're taking up spots. And what we're going to do is a more comprehensive review of all of the spots that exist and see if there's a few that we could dial back. It's one of those things where a little bit makes a big difference when you need a place to park. And so also with people who live downtown, especially more now than ever, at least on Main Street, this is going to free up a parking spot that might be otherwise used by, taken up by a sign. And that sign there takes up 3 parking spots. It says no parking loading zone. And the impression is that it's 24 hours a day. That's not the case. And so not only change the ordinance, we're going to also request that the DPW director adjust the signage so that people will know what we voted on.
Excellent.
So we're happy to do this.
Thank you, Councilor Worthley. Is there anybody speaking in opposition? Seeing none and online. Madam Clerk, is there any communications?
There are none.
Is there any questions from councilors? All right. Seeing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and ask for the committee report.
Committee recommendation on a motion by Council Worthy, seconded by myself. The Ordinance and Administration Committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council amend Gloucester Code of Ordinances, Chapter 22, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Section 22 through 284, service or loading zones by deleting Main Street northerly side from the point 132 feet from the intersection of Short Street for a distance of 25 feet in the easterly direction in front of 62 through 64 Main Street, and adding Main Street northerly side from a point 132 feet from the intersection of Short Street for a distance of 25 feet in an easterly direction in front of 62 through 64 Main Street, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I so move.
Second.
All in favor? Or discussion? And then we'll do roll call vote.
A quick clarification, and Councilor Worthley, maybe you can, is to clarify that this 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., this includes the weekends as well, just so people understand?
Yes.
Okay. I understood that. I just want to make sure that folks understood that this, because some people may be thinking people are just getting deliveries Monday through Friday, but just to clarify, it also includes the weekend.
There are some businesses that are open on a Sunday that still need fresh food
Yep.
delivered and things like that. So
Yep.
I would love to be more precise, but we don't want to have a business that's struggling, not be able to get the delivery. So
No, fair enough, and I appreciate the clarification. I appreciate that, just so folks that are listening understand that too.
thank you.
All righty. So now we can go by roll call.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes.
Counselor Benson,
Aye.
Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow,
Aye.
Counselor Majota,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
The vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
All righty. So I am going to take something out of order tonight. We're going to go to individual councils discussion, including reports by appointed councils to committees, which we have none, and then council's request to the mayor. And the reason we're doing this is that we're going to have a statement coming up from some people that won't be here for the following vote. So instead of bringing them back. Yes, we're going to be doing, yeah, that's what, they're not going to be able to be here, so instead of pulling them back. So we just want to go, we'll do the memorandum of the city clerk requesting city council, set the September 16th. Oh, no, you guys can do that, I'm sorry.
You don't need to be there.
So we might as well move to, let's do number 2 before we do that.
Which is the memorandum from the city clerk requesting city council set September 16, 2025 as the municipal preliminary election date.
Excellent. So that'll be by roll call.
Need a counselor to read it first.
Yeah, move to set the date for the municipality preliminary election to September 16th, 2025, and I move.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing no discussion?
Actually,
Do by
Chris,
roll
isn't
call?
it always 6 weeks before the final election by definition, or do we need to set it?
We have to set it. There was a special act. It's attached to the memorandum in the packet that I believe it has to be now at least 6 weeks prior to the general election.
Roll, please.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor Worthley,
Yes.
Counselor Benson,
Aye.
Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Grace.
Yes.
Counselor Grow,
Yes.
Counselor Majota,
Aye.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
The vote is 8 in favor, 0 opposed, 1 absent. The motion passes.
Excellent. So we're going to go in order of roll call. So we'll start off, because I won't be first, I'll be last. So we'll start with Council Worthley.
Thank you. This isn't the disclosure, this is council's request to the mayor.
That's correct.
Okay, so I have a number of requests that I've sent in, but there's one I just thought of on the way here. Well, actually, as we were talking about the beach stuff and the revenues and budget, there was a, we all know there was a teacher strike. There was a settlement for, we approved $217,000 from the school committee, which they'd allocated $300,000 for the paraprofessionals. And the order was for $217,000. There was some I'm just gonna say misunderstanding, where there were some retired paraprofessionals who were promised that they would be paid through the, retroactively based on when they resigned or retired. And I don't know the numbers, it's probably under $20,000. I would like to officially ask the mayor to try to revisit this, and we don't want to open up all contract negotiations all over again, but just a conversation. Because
So I have a point of order on this.
always.
This, excuse me, Council Worthy, I have the floor. This is a matter between the negotiating teams and the teachers. This is not a matter that we, as another independent board of legislators, should get involved with. And we would be doing a disservice to our school committee and our school superintendent if we tried to get involved with this decision, because it's already being handled, they've heard it, and it's not our job. So I ask that you support my point of order that this is not our purview to be discussing it. And if we're going to have this discussion right now, we need to have the superintendent and the school committee here. This is just not
Mr.
appropriate.
President, I have to comment on this. I'm sorry.
I do agree with Val that this has nothing to do with our committee. It does involve us as people. Jeff, if you want to submit that, could you please submit it in writing
I'd be happy to.
and not oral tonight?
Okay, I have one other request. If I could address just the concept for a second, if I may, briefly,
No.
15 seconds.
No, I think that it's off base for us.
It's a request to the mayor. It's not asking the council to be involved. It's a request to the mayor.
Send it to the mayor.
Okay, I didn't know that we were bound by Robert's Rules of Order on requests to the administration. It doesn't make sense. But the other request is there was some number, and I think it was in the $300,000 range, that I think we need to have full disclosure on for costs that were incurred and spent, and I'm not sure that there was proper appropriation or warrants for things like police details, public relation firms during that period, and I'd like to ask the mayor to disclose that money in that expenditure and under what authority those decisions were made. It came to me from an accounting standpoint, from our auditor, and from stuff that came from the school committee. So I think we should look at the numbers and just understand how those decisions were made and that money was spent. So that's it for requests, and I'll read my disclosure.
Excellent.
on those.
I too support the second. Thank you. We're going to be a roll call. So who's afterwards? Dylan, thanks.
Thank you, Council President. First off, I just want to have a few requests to the administration just to see where we are with the senior tax work-off program. I'd like to see where we're at, if maybe we can get this going at just a few folks, maybe in the next fiscal year. Also would like to request, spoken to the Constituent Services Director regarding some sidewalks that need repair, specifically Short Street and also Liberty Street as well. And also looking at some continued parking issues going on in the downtown area, specifically on Pleasant Street, in and around the church and businesses where folks are parking for endless hours and taking up spots. And we're trying to figure out a way to alleviate that, but I just want to continue to put that on the administration's radar. And if I may, I just want to take a few moments. Yesterday was 80 years since the liberation of Auschwitz, and I want to take a moment to remember the lives lost during the horrific Holocaust. 6 million Jews and endless others were victims of the Holocaust, and we remember yesterday where over 1 million Jewish people were murdered at the Auschwitz concentration camp. And this was a year, 80 years, where many of the survivors were at Auschwitz, and this may be one of the final years that many of the survivors will be able to go. And I just hope we continue to remember their lives and root out anti-Semitism and also root out denial of the Holocaust and distortion of the Holocaust. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
It's a hard act to follow. So I just have one thing I wanted to report. Three of us were at the MMA meeting Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Boston. Dylan and Councilor Gross, and it was just such it was such a good opportunity to be there to listen to our Lieutenant Governor, a lot of keynote speakers talking about the importance of us having to have energy and excitement and focus on our jobs. I mean, it was just a really, really good conference. So I encourage you to look on the MMA website and see what is available from the conference in terms of executive discussions and from Adam Chapelain and see what was discussed, because some of those talking points are very helpful. The one matter that I do want to share was from the business meeting with MIIA, our insurance carrier. And at the business meeting, which was on Saturday morning, they announced that it looks like healthcare is going to be trending at 14.5% this year on an average, which is just overwhelming to hear. So, we need to be mindful of that and watch that closely as the budget season comes down the pipeline, because we were just shocked when we heard that number. The mayor was there, Tony was there, Dominique Hurley was there, and Jill, and we were just shocked. So anyway, just something to think about, but do read the materials. And if you have any questions, I attended a lot of the sessions, and when I can get like the PowerPoint slides, I'll make sure that I share them with everyone, because they were really helpful. Things like on overrides and so many good presentations. So I was honored to represent all of you there. It was a great conference.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Gilman. Councilor Grace.
Hi, yeah, thank you. Just a couple of things. I was downtown today parked on Dale Avenue, and fabulous job of cleaning the snow off the sidewalks. But if we could just perhaps take it one step further and clean off around the kiosks before somebody falls and is injured, because you have to kind of climb over. I mean, a lot of it's melted now, but it's icy and a bit dangerous, especially for our elderly or uncoordinated like me. And my other thing is just I'd like an update on the repair of the sidewalks on Riggs Street. This is a request that I put in, a year ago, and don't really know what the status is right now. So thanks.
Councilor Grow.
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. In response to Councilor Benson's memorialization of yesterday's events, we also attended on Sunday, along with the mayor and several members of the Human Rights Commission at Temple Habat Hakim, a seminar on anti-Semitism I thought was very enlightening, very interesting, and I think it's going to help inform the continued work that's being done on the anti-Semitism resolution that we've sent back to the Human Rights Commission. So I'm looking forward to that continuing moving forward. I sent a note to the mayor right before this evening's meeting, asking him to keep us in the loop on federal grant and funding issues that may arise. Federal judge put a stay on the suspension of the grants until Monday, but as we know, things have been moving very quickly and very aggressively at the administration, and depending on how that works out, whether or not that's even legal, there are potentially serious downsides for this community, and I'm very hopeful that we don't lose the kind of funding that we need to keep services going and protecting our most vulnerable citizens and residents. So that's it for me. Everything else I submit online.
So thank you, Councilor Grow. Councilor Memhard.
Two items, both of which have been mentioned tonight, and I just want to follow up on them on behalf of the constituents that have raised them. One, I'd follow up on Dylan Benson's request to the mayor for an update on activating our senior workout program. I have constituents that are very eager to participate in that and are frustrated that there's nobody really responsive in the mayor's office to questions about when and how that program might get off the ground, and people offering to help organize getting it off the ground, but not finding a place to get a toehold. And secondly, following up on Marianne Boucher's requests, the community is owed an update on the schedule for the demolition and site improvement work at the East Gloucester School. I suspect not much has changed, but we just need an update on the timeframes that the demolition and the security of the site is anticipated for from the contractors involved. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Memhard. I have no request for the night. Oh, Councilor Majota.
I just have two things. One I will go over with Marjorie Grace. I just got this phone call. I'd just like to clarify that the state law and city law for no parking signs within the crosswalks, especially in the downtown area on Washington Street by George's and Tony's. I just want some clarification. I spoke to a few business owners down there, and they're just upset seeing they're losing a lot of parking down there. So we just want to clarify what the distance is from the crosswalk to the car space. Is it 20 feet? Is it 45 feet? So just clarification on that. Okay. And then I'm requesting a speed limit sign be put up or a slow down sign where Captain Hooks was, or around 447 Washington Street. There's been a lot of speeding up in that area. So I would like a sign that put up there by the DPW to have people know the speed limit and to hopefully slow down. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Majota. All right, so next up.
Just want to thank the administration and this council and the Department of Public Works for responding to Gail Goodhue, who's coming to us from the council back in March and September. And I think especially Councilor Majota requested, as well as the Ward 4 councilor, to get railings installed at the Dorothy Talbot rink. It's definitely an improvement for public safety and for grandparents who want to watch their kids play hockey or skate. They can navigate it more easily. And I just think that there's a team effort, and that Grace specifically should be recognized for having the courage to come before us to share that with us. So, and good work with DPW as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Worthley. I will also like to state that in the process as well, Councilor Gilman was very vocal as well as asking the administration. So there's a lot of help came through, but the end result is what needed to happen, and it worked. So everybody that was involved in it, thank you all.
I should have added, Councilor Gilman had put a request in as well on their behalf. So good job.
All right. So with that being said, next on the agenda, we have a CC 25002. Gross, council order to set the date for a special election on April 24th, 2025, as required by Gloucester City Charter, Article 9, Section 9-3A. I believe we have some communications from some councilors on what's going to be happening. And if you'd like to each read or give a comment before you exit, that would be wonderful.
Thank you. After consulting with the State Ethics Commission regarding the council vote for a special election to determine whether or not to adopt the 3A zoning that was approved by the City Council in the fall, it has been determined that I must again recuse myself. The special election is to either accept or not to accept the proposed zoning that was voted on by the council. It is in no way a vote for a yes or a no vote against the mandated 3A compliance, because it is to determine the fate of the proposed zoning already on the table. The same reasons apply as for my original recusal. As my home is within one of the proposed districts, it is a conflict of interest because of a potential for monetary gain. I fully expect this decision will be accepted by my constituents with their full support. I am following the letter of the law. I avoid gray areas as they are murky and allow for decisions to be swayed by opinion and singular interpretation rather than by fact. My integrity and my respect for the law are important to me, and my recusal is for that reason and for that reason alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Grace. Counselor Worthley.
Yes, thank you. I wasn't as organized in terms of writing a statement, so I'll do my best to say it. I had to apologize to the lawyer I was assigned to for this because I vehemently disagreed that this would be a conflict of interest. But after further discussion, she went back and got a second opinion. It's not, the question before us is on a special election, and the reason why it would be a conflict for anybody who lives in that area is simply we're voting for a potential benefit sooner than if it were on a regular election. And so if there is a benefit, i.e. if it passes, we would have been voting on a benefit that starts sooner, and that becomes the conflict. And so I respect that opinion and well on that. She also shared with me that as a city councilor, I can't be involved in advocating for a position. Doesn't mean I can't as an individual, but as a city councilor, I can't be involved in advocating. I didn't like that answer either, but I accept it. So with that said, I officially recuse myself. I also got it in writing and I sent it to the clerk. So if anybody wants to read the opinion, it's pretty lengthy and I appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you, Counselor
Good night.
Worthley, and thank you, Counselor Grace, and you guys have a great evening. I hope doing the request of the mayor helped out instead of being called to come back up. Gonna have a few moments, not necessarily recess, while the two exit for the vote and possible discussion, or maybe just vote.
Right.
Good night.
Yeah, he's outside. So, we can make a motion. Go ahead. You got it?
Move to set the date for the special election on April 24th, 2025 as required by the Gloucester City Charter, Article 9, Section 9-3A.
I so move. Second.
There you go. Moved in second. Move it along.
Any discussion or comments?
Yeah, I got some.
Counselor Gilman.
So this date is very important for many reasons. Number one, we need to get this done before the next fiscal year, which begins on July 1st. And some of the opportunities that we have in front of us, if we were to hold off, could be taken by someone else. And we're hoping that although they're not earmarked for us because we have to be compliant, and right now that there's a delay to the effective date anyway, holding off longer than what we need to do is a problem. Second, it's a problem because if it doesn't pass on April 24th, then we'll have enough time to modify what we're recommending in terms of compliance and zoning and get that in prior to the effective date. So in fact, I think for those reasons, it's imperative that we honor this date. And so I will be supporting this. And I know that Grace has some numbers to share as well in terms of how much a special election is going to cost us. And that's appreciated, but I'll let somebody else have the floor. Thank you.
I was going to actually suggest that we talk about the cost real quickly because there's some other considerations that we should bring up in this discussion. And then I'd like to go back to some of the justifications why this date was set and the expectations of what we need to accomplish before July 14th.
Right. Before we go into the cost, can I ask if there's any other questions or discussion besides cost? Seeing none. We're on to the numbers. Postage.
So the estimated cost for a special election is $36,200. The cost of ballots would be $5,604.84. That was just quoted earlier, well, last week. State law does require a ballot for every registered voter, so that's what we got the quote on. The cost of police details, which is required by law, is $9,258.73. That can fluctuate a little bit depending on what police officers are selected for that detail. The cost of election workers would be projected to be $13,300. The cost of programming for the DS200 tabulator and the flashcard programming is $2,350, and the AutoMark machines, which are the handicapped accessible machines, would cost $1,000 to program. Cost of custodial overtime, which is based on the November election, is $1,563.75. The cost of cell phones for the wardens at the precincts would be $78.52. Cost of staff overtime is $2,321.22. This is based on the 2024 elections. It's likely to be less for a special election because there won't be as many like extended hours. The cost of facility rentals is $100 per precinct that we rent. So that would be the Magnolia Library Center and Our Lady of Good Voyage Youth Center. The cost of supplies would be between $300 and $528. That difference is depending on whether or not we have early voting, and the poll pad labels that we use are expensive. So at a minimum, it would be about $300. And that brings us to our cost of a special election, which again is approximately $36,200. When $36,200. When it comes to the cost of postage for vote by mail, it really depends on how many people request vote by mail ballots. Right now, the cost to mail a ballot is 97 cents. In September of 2023, when the city voted to offer vote by mail, or actually did not vote to not have it, we mailed out 112 vote by mail ballots. And for the November election, we mailed out 248 vote by mail ballots. So we're looking at, about $500.
Councilor Garage.
I do. I just want to, I want to take a few minutes just to explain a little bit about why that date was chosen. You've already opened up the door on that. It's going to be a Thursday, which is not a typical day that we hold an election. It's Thursday because those are longer hours for the city so that would reduce overtime. It's on a Thursday on the 24th because it will not then conflict with schools needing to be closed for the elections. We've already had enough school closures going on. Everyone is well aware that this is a spring break day. And while that is unfortunate, we are going to have early voting and we will have mail-in voting. So there's really no excuse for people to not be able to vote if they choose to do so, which I hope they do. And of course, we're trying to do everything we can to reduce disruption in the city via the school closures, cost reductions as much as possible for staff. But there's some other things that we need to be considered, and Councilor Gilman's already broached some of those, and that is that we need to produce, because of the referendum, because of the petition, the city is now in a position that we have to resubmit an action plan by February 13th, 2025. And then we need to initiate and have effective zoning in place by July 14th, or we become non-compliant. People were asking, why don't we have this in September? Why don't we wait for November? As long as we remain out of compliance, we remain ineligible for these very important infrastructure grants, financing opportunities. And holding off until September or November would just delay that process. All the grants that we have sitting on the table that we can't utilize right now are going to be reprogrammed on July 1st. If we don't use them, they will go away. So it's our hope, I think, and the hope of the council that people turn out to vote correctly, and approve the proposal that was drafted by the planning board and unanimously approved by the city council. But that's the timeline. And if we don't prevail on April 24th, we're going to have 2 months basically to reinitiate the process of resending this to the planning board, having public hearings, a redraft of a proposal, coming back to the city council, and having public hearings before we then vote again, all before the deadline of July 14th. So there's a lot of stuff in play at the moment. A lot of things have to come together to be successful. I'm sorry that the city is in the position of having to spend $36,000 at this time on an issue that really should have been resolved with the council vote. But that's where we are. I do hope people who support 3A come out and vote, but everybody's going to have the right to vote, and that's where we are now. That's it. That's all I got.
Can I just clarify something? So you referenced the vote by mail and early voting. That is going to be discussed at O&A through the council order that was brought through. Vote by mail is default unless the city council opts out, but early voting is an opt-in at the recommendation of the Board of Registrars.
Is there any discussion to this? Councilor Benson.
Thank you. And just as Councilor Grow, as you were speaking to, just so people understand and I understand, is right now though we are not in compliance, but we have grants that we're in possession of, lack of a better way of saying it. We can't use them, but if the vote goes affirmative, reaffirming the council, we can use those. Is that what? Just so
Basically, yeah. Because we do not have zoning in effect at this point, we are out of compliance.
Okay.
And that's the operative word. If we get a positive vote on 3A at the referendum, the decision of the council stands, and then we can initiate, and the zoning will be in effect.
Okay.
So that will bring us into compliance.
And then the grants that we have right now, we would be able to use them, like say ones that we have for critical infrastructure on our roads and stuff like that. Quickly, as I will say, is I'm supporting this. I believe both what Councilor Gilman and Councilor Grow has said. The sooner we get this on the ballot, the sooner we can have a decision, and hopefully the voters understand. And I know a lot of voters in Ward 2 that I've heard from, they're not really passionate about 3A, but they are passionate about fixing their roads and sidewalks. So understanding that and understanding budgetary constraints, hopefully folks make the right decision. And with that being said, we do need to move forward on this, and we will have this at a date, as you've said, on a Thursday, which will lessen cost. And just to the clerk, though, the numbers that you just put forward, though, there could be some increases, say with prices going up, there could be some increases for paper, et cetera. Like, is that possible?
It's possible
Yeah.
that they could be more. It's
Okay.
possible it could be a little less,
Yeah.
but it's a pretty accurate estimate.
That is, yeah, that's what I wanted. I knew maybe a little bit, but nothing major. All right, well, thank you very much.
All right, with that being said, I'd like to call the roll.
Councilor Nolan,
Yes.
Councilor Benson,
Yes.
Councilor Gilman,
Yes.
Councilor Grow,
Yes.
Councilor Majota,
Yes.
Councilor Memhard.
With blessings, yes.
The vote is 6 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 absent. The motion passes.
Excellent. So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those,
No.
roll call?
Too much fun. I might say no.
Councilor Nolan,
Yes.
Councilor Benson,
For fun, no.
Councilor Gilman,
Absolutely.
Councilor Grace. I'm sorry, she's not here. Councilor Grow,
Yes.
Councilor Majota. Counselor Memhard.
I'm closer to bed than you all are. Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 1 opposed, 3 absent. The motion passes.
Thank you, everybody.
Good
Thank
job,
you.
Counselor Nolan. Nice
Good
job.
job.